verse 4, it says, how that he was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable words, which is not lawful for a man to utter. Of such and one will I glory. Yet I myself will not glory, but in my infirmity. So this is a way that he could tie himself with the things of God, is because when he's going through, this is when God gets the glory out of it. This is when you can actually see the grace of God resting in his life, because we know everything that Paul went through, he didn't just go through it just to go through it. It was so that the glory of God can be revealed in his life. And so we know that the infirmities, the afflictions, this is why he gloried in it, is because the very things that God was saying, my grace is, he was showing him right here. I'm going to skip down to it. So, verse 9, it says, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. So this is how we know how he overcame. This is why he was glorying in his infirmities, is because while he's glorying in it, he's recognizing that my strength is being made perfect when I'm weak. This is when God's ultimate glory is being shown in my life. This is when I can see the glory of God. This is when I can really see the grace of God being worked in my life. Because he said, I want to know him in the fellowship of his suffering. So how am I going to know God? How am I going to really know God? How am I going to associate myself with him? Is because of the grace of God that sits in my life. How do I know the grace of God is sitting in my life? Because I can grow through some things that, might not pertain so much to my own life, but I know that it's resting on me because of what Christ did. And because of what Christ did, it's sufficient for me enough to go through it. Yeah, I can go through these things because it's what Christ did, not so much what I did, not because I accepted what he did, but it's really what he did on Calvary. Yes, Lord. And we know if the Bible says if it wasn't for Calvary, where would we be at? If it wasn't for the shedding of the blood, if it wasn't for him dragging the cross up Golgotha's hill, then there wouldn't be a place for me to worship. It wouldn't be a place for me to be sufficient enough to go through. But because he went through it all just for me, now I can glory in my affliction. I can glory in the things that I go through because I know that now I'm in fellowship with what God has done in the beginning. And I don't have to look at my infirmities, because the Bible says that the things that we go are not worthy to, the things that we suffer and go through are not worthy to be compared to the things that the glory that shall be revealed in us. And so we can go through this with joy. We can go through these things because when I'm weak, he's strong in my life. Yes. He says in verse 9, it says, most gladly, therefore, I will rather glory in my infirmity. I would rather glory in the enemy afflicting me. I would rather glory in the stoning. I would rather glory in being shipwrecked. I would be rather glory than them spitting on me and persecuting my name, because this one, God's grace is sufficient.